Happy Friday, ladies! You've made it, and welcome back to the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast. I'm your host, Tanya Wilson, and today, as promised at the end of last week's episode, we're going to talk about the importance of getting online with your service company and being active on social media. Now, I know that this scares y'all sometimes, like you want to just turn this episode off and be like, that's not for me, I don't do that. Please stay tuned. There is so much goodness in this episode that is going to talk about your website. We're going to talk about SEO and what that means for you. We're going to talk about how Google makes your business show up online. We're going to talk about the importance of review sites, business directories, and we'll dive into social media, give you some stats, and let you know how important it is to be on there, how to come up with content, how to be consistent with it, and to be impactful for the audience that you're trying to build there. I want more than anything to educate people on how simple this stuff is. It's really not complex. And I don't want you to run away from it and be scared of it because it is a crucial part of marketing your business. Think about it. Some people in our audience may not even know what these things are, and some actually might, but the yellow pages used to be the directory. You had to take out this ridiculously expensive ad in hopes that you would have a business that starts with the letter A and they would call you if your ad was attractive enough. I mean, there's so much in the septic industry that I work in. There's so many companies here that are still like AAA, blah, 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 or AAAA, blah, blah, blah. Like their name is still that way because they named it that way. So they'd show it first in the yellow pages. That is not the way that businesses are found anymore. Not at all. In fact, I haven't even seen one of those books in probably 10 years. So if you're spending money on those, you should probably stop real quick because nobody's looking at it. Sometimes I get the fight back from people that are older and they say, oh no, we still use our yellow pages and we still have a phone book. That's fantastic and all. But that ad that you're paying $400 a month for is probably not giving you a very good ROI. And ROI stands for return on investment. So if y'all are spending $4,800 a year on a Yellow Pages ad, and a few people are calling you, you need to maximize that. And you can maximize that with getting online, having a professional online appearance, and getting on social media. So starting off first and foremost, the website. There has been some controversy about that. And people have said, oh, you don't need a website anymore. You're on social media. You're on Google, yada, yada, yada. So much about your appearance online starts at your website. And that is where SEO comes in. That is short for search engine optimization. Again, that's search engine optimization. And what that means in layman terms is how easy is it for Google to read your website? That's literally what it means. There are different things that feed into the Google algorithm, and they change it often as to factors that contribute to you showing up higher in the list on Google. Those websites that show up that are not ads are called organic listings. Organic listings are free listings with Google. It's basically Google's directory. And so based upon the words that are in your website and the structure of your website, that is how you are found on Google. That is how you can show up organically on Google, is based upon how well the SEO of your website is. You want to show up in organic searches because they're free. Again, they're free. And there are many different ways that you can try to do SEO by yourself. You can research it. I'll tell you what, when I first started in the septic industry, we didn't have a lot of money. And this is kind of what a lot of people run into. And so I would spend night after night after night after night watching tutorials. I even took a couple of paid classes and learned what it meant to do SEO and how to build an HTML website. Back then, they didn't have drag and drop stuff. You had to learn to code it. And that's what I did. This was in early 2009. And at that time, there were only a couple of companies in our area that even had websites. I learned this so much that I just became obsessed with it because I knew that was going to be the way for us to be able to find our customers and to be seen for the services that we were offering. So it just took tons of tweaking and trying this stuff and trying that stuff. And at this time, social media was around, but it wasn't something that was super prevalent like it is now, to where everybody had everything. It was still kind of like the early Facebook days and things like that, where it was more just a personal thing versus a business thing. But we ended up slaying it. We actually got our website knocked off a couple of times that we had to report. It worked. It worked so well. And it was something that we perfected so well. And our competition was so low at that time. We didn't pay a dime for advertising. Everything that we got that came from the web was literally from our website and the way we had our business directories listed online. So I know that it takes a lot of time. Please don't get discouraged. There are plenty of resources out there for you to learn from. But if you are an established business, this is one of the greatest things I would tell you to outsource this. Outsource it to somebody that you really enjoy and that they can back up what they say they're going to do for you. If you're in business, I'm sure you've received a million emails that say, I want to help you with your website. I want to help you do this and social media and on and on. Find someone that you know and can have a conversation with. I always suggest looking for a small business that is around your area that may specialize in service industries. It doesn't have to be that you're a plumber and then you only look for someone that has a plumber, because a lot of times they don't want competing businesses because really they're, trying to beat you out online. But find somebody from a networking group or someone that you can ask about experience for, rather than just handing it over to some big company to have them do it. I've tried them both, and I'll tell you what, getting to know your person and the person that will do it, make sure that there's someone that you click with and they understand what your business goals are, because it can cost so much money. You can just pour so much money into that. And unfortunately, I've seen so many service companies just get raked over the coals because they didn't do their research. They sounded like nice people. They promised them the moon. Speaking of the moon, if someone comes to you and they instantly say, I can get you on the front page of Google in da-da-da, they are full of shit. Because nobody knows Google's algorithm or what your competitors are doing at that same time to get you to any particular place on Google within any certain period of time. The listings on Google are done per keywords and per content that is in your website and per speed of your website. No one can guarantee you those things. But if you're working with somebody that is worthwhile and they know what they are doing, they will tell you, give me 3 or 4 months to get this thing up and get it rolling in here. Then we'll pull some tweaks. We'll do some stuff, because they understand that this stuff takes time. It is something that has to be put in. It has to evolve. You may have to tweak some things. You may want to look up some new things. You may add services that also take time. So be sure that you know who you're handing your money to. A good website for SEO purposes shouldn't cost you, depending upon your website, more than $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Now, a lot of you may gasp and say, oh my gosh, that's so much money. But literally think about it. I mean, I compare this with like a junk removal job. Let's say ours typically average around $275. I mean, that's like less than a few days worth of work, and I've got all the rest of the days of work coming in because I've spent this money with a qualified individual that can help me get this done. On that same note, as far as ads are concerned with Google, also make sure that you hire a professional to help you with that. Typically, someone that does your SEO can hook you up with someone that does AdWords. That stuff changes so much, it's crazy. And you want somebody that knows when the updates come, how to set up and structure your ads to get the most bang for your buck. So again, I highly recommend that. If you can't quite hire someone for SEO, start with AdWords because that budget can be much smaller than what your budget is for SEO. So those are my biggest things with a website. Make sure that it looks professional too. Put pictures of your guys and gals on there. Don't use stock photos. Don't use like generic writing. Like literally sit down and write your content for your website. Don't put that in the hands of somebody else that doesn't know your business. Make sure that you are part of that content creation. It's so very important. Aesthetically, make it look beautiful. Make it look professional. And put pictures of your team on there. Introduce your team. On my websites, all of our team members are on there. We don't use any stock photos and anything. Like take the time, take some great photos, hire someone to do headshots, or, use a really nice iPhone. You've got one. And take some really good headshots so that you can give recognition. And that goes a long way with employee morale too, because they're like, oh crap, I'm valuable to this company because my face is listed and my name and my title and my background and my credentials. It makes your employees feel special too. Make sure that you're posting and changing out things in your website at least on a monthly basis. Keep it fresh. One of the best ways to be able to do that is to start a blog on your website. A blog on your website can be updated once a week, once a month. You can do it as a video. You could write it out as content, as text, which is also good for SEO too, because now you've got all these new keywords in a new page, in a new area of your website for the Google to crawl through. We try to update our blog once a week. We've been doing pretty good on a schedule of getting those things together and getting them uploaded. It's really great. Just sit down and have a brainstorming session and write out a bunch of topics. They don't have to be huge, long blog posts. Write a couple of paragraphs and post a video. Post a video of you reading those 2 paragraphs. It's something that you can push out to YouTube. It's something you can push out to social media, and you have that new content on your website. Google likes to know that you're alive out there. There's a lot of dead websites out there. So they reward you by showing up higher in the rankings if you're consistently updating your content on your website. I'm sure we can go through a million things on websites, and I am going to get some professionals on here to do an interview so we can dive even deeper into those things so you can understand them even better, or yet questions to ask a professional that you want to turn that over to. So we'll definitely get that in and give you some more deep dive into that on a Now let's dive into some other goodies like business directories. So Google My Business is a really great place for you to start. And if you sign into Google and you just type in the search bar, Google My Business, if you have not already, go in and claim your business. If it has not been created yet, create a business. It's a very simple, Google it, follow the steps. It's super simple. But with inside of Google My Business, once you get it set up, and please use your logo and photos of your own team, Put your website in there, your address, your phone number. If you guys do online booking, there is a spot for you to be able to do that. So people can book directly from Google to get on your calendar, which is super convenient. But you want to make sure that you are consistently using the Google My Business posts. So when we do a blog post, we just go ahead and create a snippet out of that and use it as a post on Google. Those posts get exposure. Ours get quite a bit of exposure for both our septic company and the junk removal business. So it's another way visually and content way for people to be able to see what you do and see that you're a legit company. I like to have pictures of my fleet on there. I like to have pictures introducing my service technicians and my office staff so people know who they're talking to. So it's another really great resource for you to be able to be found online and give them some information about your business. Now, love it or hate it, Yelp is a thing. And even if you don't build your own Yelp profile, someone else can start one for you, let's say a reviewer, and they can leave you good reviews or bad reviews. And I don't like the idea of not having some sort of control or being able to at least respond to good or bad reviews. So building out your Yelp is also very important. People go to Yelp for a lot of different services. Sometimes people just go there. They might not even be using it to search for someone, but let's say you came as a referral. And so they're like, well, I'm going to go online and I'm going to do some research on this company. Yelp will pop up in the organics Google search most of the time. So if you don't have a fantastic rating there, or if you have an incomplete profile or you look like a ghost in Yelpville, then you will definitely want to change that and get more of a professional approach there. There is also a company, it's called manta.com. We have used that for our businesses in the past, where you can go in, enter your information, and they will scan the website for a fee for you and update any of your business directory listings to what you want them to be. So when I first started, I used this service just to get my business name out there into the business directories. A lot of them now require that you have your own password, or they'll charge you a fee to get on it. Manta is a very small fee. I think their minimum one is like something like $30 to $50 a month, but they will consistently make sure that your business listing is up to date. So it's worth it to throw that money out there to at least get it in the directories. It's a no contract situation, so you don't have to keep the service with them, but it is definitely something that can and will help your business. Now, let's dive into the big one and what some people consider so scary for their business, but yet have no problem doing it personally. And I just find that fascinating. People will take a selfie of themselves or in the bathroom or whatever, but they don't want to post about their business. And I just don't get that. So we need to dive into this. So there are so many different social media platforms. But let me tell you something. You can post to all of them for free. Free. It's free marketing. Like, I love listening to Gary V, and he's like, you should be posting on there 20 times a day. That's a bit extreme unless you really have a lot to say and are really good about making content, or you're just living on social media. However, posting once a day should not be a difficult thing for you to do. And posting means that you could post to, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, Reddit. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. But there are tools out there that can help you be able to post in advance, which is also super cool. And we'll talk about that So let's talk about the behemoth here, Facebook. Facebook, in case you didn't know, all owns Instagram as well. They're two very different platforms, but they are all under one Facebook roof. A lot of people post a lot about their business on their personal profile. There is a difference between a personal profile and a business page. Set up a business page. Business pages allow people to like your business instead of you adding them as a friend. You add friends on your personal profile, people get to like your business page. Should you post your business on your personal page? I do. I take a couple of my favorite posts of the week, or if it's a really good content piece that my friends on social media or on Facebook will maybe get some value out of, I definitely post that over to my personal page. Do I post personal on my business profile? Yes. And I was going to say yes and no. I don't say I'm on vacation in Wyoming on my business page. I will say that stuff on my personal profile, but on my business page, I'll be in Wyoming with a beer in a priority pumping koozie, and I will take a picture of that and post it on my business page, and I will have it say, priority is out living it up in the mountains of Wyoming. Blah, blah, blah. Something like that. But I'm still highlighting my business and incorporating my personal touch to it, if you will. Your personality. You definitely want your personal personality to come out in your business. That's what makes your business so cool. You don't want it to be all stuffy and uptight and everything has to be da-da-da-da-da, but you definitely want to keep those two things separate. So it's a delicate line, but sometimes we push it. Sometimes we see what we can do. Sometimes we incorporate our personal stuff in letting people know who we are as a business. So try stuff. That's the number one thing I could tell you. Just try it and see what you can come up with. But as far as postings go, I'm going to use my septic company as an example here. When we post stuff on Facebook, we are able to use those posts as well and copy and paste them and put them as our Google My Business posts. We're also able to share those posts with other groups. Now, groups on Facebook are so awesome. So you can get into the communities where you service and are around your business, and you can become a part of those groups. You just ask to become a part of them. I mean, what's the worst they could say? No, we don't want you in your group. By that point, you've already probably asked to be a part of so many of them, you forgot all about it. That's typically how people work. But anytime somebody gets on that group and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a junk removal company, you're like, oh, me, I do junk removal. And then you can send them your contact information. A lot of those community groups as well will also post like a Marketing Monday or Social Sunday or Social Saturday, and they allow you to share what your service is through that thread. And that's also really great to do. It's also good for SEO purposes for your website because you can tag your website in it. You can also build your audience on whatever platform you are wanting to build on by including a link to that in your post, so it will direct them to go check you out at those places. So maximize Facebook. I'm sure we'll have a professional on that will deep dive into this and even talk more. They may even know more than I know. I'm just telling you my secrets that I use, and that's definitely a tool where we get a lot of businesses to a lot of business, and it's a great place to network with other businesses. So we really like that. Instagram is a great platform for us as well. We also post on that daily for both of my companies, and I like the visual aspect of Instagram. The visual aspect is something that catches people's eye. They want to know what you're doing. We highlight our services. We highlight our team. We highlight funny jokes, things that our audience will interact with. And again, you just have to put them out there and you have to see what the engagement looks like on those and continue to do more of whatever it is that they're engaged with. Twitter is another place where you can definitely use that for SEO purposes, include links back to your website. We pretty much post a lot of what we post on Facebook and Instagram on Twitter. We want stuff to look pretty consistent. I will tell you, I am not a Twitter expert, so if that's something you're wanting to learn, we can definitely get someone on here to help out. Twitter to me is kind of like rants and raves and tidbits of knowledge. So we like to stay out of the rants and raves, and we just like to give tidbits of knowledge. So I would highly encourage you to do that as well. Twitter's pretty fast. It's only 280 characters, so you can really just like throw something on there pretty quickly. You can post pictures and videos if you choose to, but you could definitely build an audience on there with captivating things. We love to use LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is kind of like a Facebook because you have your profile and then you have a business page too. So I have my personal profile at LinkedIn. So it's linkedin.com/your name minus Tanya Merritt Wilson. So you can go in there, you can connect with people that you get business from. I use this heavily to connect with real estate agents that I do business with. I always go in and thank them via LinkedIn and ask to connect with them. I like to know that I'm making a connection with somebody that may not use my services super often, but then they'll remember, oh yeah, she sent me a message on LinkedIn. I can find her from there. So I always recommend doing that if that's something that, or someone that you work with. If you work with commercial companies, that's fantastic. Do that as well. We also set one up for our business. We don't have as many followers on that, but again, it's another great SEO thing for your website and for your business, and you're showing up online all over the place. So you can, just kind of copy and paste some of the stuff that you put on your business LinkedIn and put it on your personal one as well. So people that are checking out your profile know what you're about and what kind of businesses that you're in. That LinkedIn is definitely more of a social platform for businesses to connect with each other or people looking to connect with businesses or business-minded people. So keep that in mind, but don't rule it out if you are a service business operator or owner, because there's great ways to leverage that, like I just explained with the septic example, to stay in connection with some of your customers that you've had. Now, YouTube is something that we are growing, and it's just been so much fun to make videos for that. YouTube is informational, but YouTube, seriously, statistics, I was looking through all these stats on all of these different social media platforms, and YouTube is the second largest search engine globally, according to Alexa. So that's huge. Like, you have to be on there. Even if you post one video a week, that would be my challenge for you. Post one video a week, jump on, set it up somewhere and say, look, I'm going to explain to you what we do with the mattresses we pick up from junk removal. I'm going to tell you what this color of wire and this color of wire means for electricians. I'm going to tell you the difference between this black pipe and this white pipe for plumbers. Like, it's so simple. Like, if you can teach somebody how to do something on there or just educate them, sky's the limit. Have fun with it. Even if you're not like a big video editor, I know some of that kind of scares people. I'm not super fantastic at it, but I'm learning. You just have to throw it out there. Just get it out. Done is better than perfection. You always can learn from stuff. And last but not least, the ones that I'm going to talk about is TikTok. Now, this is a new thing. TikTok, like if you have a teenage or preteen kid, God knows that you know about TikTok. TikTok scares me to death. It's like super quick and you jump on and you do something. Most of them are really silly. I like to use that for Ladies Kickin Ass to just give a daily inspiration for a whole 30 to 60 seconds and just like, hey, have a great day, or a really positive thing for you to think about for the day. It's really great in our businesses to be able to, like, if there's something super crazy going on, then we can highlight that on TikTok. That's a lot of fun. But in one of the stats I was reading, it did say that as of January 2021, TikTok has 689 million global active users. That's insane, ladies. That's insane. Look at the audience that you have with that. I mean, it is just absolutely insane. TikTok was the most downloaded app in 2020. Now, we never know how long these things are going to last or how long they're going to be around. And they do say that the majority of TikTok users are between the ages of 10 and 19. But who knows where that's going to go, in the future. So you just throw something up in there, claim your name, have some fun with it, have your guys and your gals out in the field do some funny stuff on it or some educational stuff. Jump on, like one of ours, I know that they did like a TikTok when we took our trucks into the dump so people could see what that looks like. They're fun little things to be able to share, and you can share directly from TikTok to Instagram. So that's pretty cool too. So give it a shot. If that one tends to be, when I talk to people, one that's the most scary to jump on because people don't like to be in front on video, I am going to have my friend Heather Lackey on. She is amazing. She does TikTok. She does SEO, and she works a lot on Instagram as well. So we'll get her take on service industries on that. But as a whole, those are the ones that I think would be most beneficial for people to use that are in home service industry. Something else I just kind of wanted to point out in closing on this is, like, don't fall trap to all the we'll send you lead sites. So like lead generators. So like if you go in and let's just say like you're a roll-off dumpster company, if you go in and type in like dumpster.com, you'll be taken to a very generic looking website. And they say, oh, what do you want? What do you need? And then they farm that out to people that accept these leads. And then they will call the customers and do all of that. However, a lot of these, and you'll probably fall victim to this if you're new. If you haven't, you've probably learned your lesson. But Home Advisor is one of those that I have had like zero good luck with. The leads go out to lots of different companies. So they're like, oh, they send them all out at the same time, which is complete BS, because I have called those before when I've been on those programs, like the minute I get them and they've already booked a job with someone else. So if that was actually happening, there's no way that could possibly work. So I know that they're tempting when you're first starting a business, but don't fall victim to that stuff. Lead generation can and should be done organically where you can control it. You want leads organic and you want to be having control over this stuff, get on social media. You can set up Facebook ads that will target down to like a mom that loves goats and yoga pants. So look at your resources. If you don't know what you're doing with your marketing dollars and you're just kind of guessing, or the person was nice, or you're just throwing spaghetti against the wall, save your money. Find that person. Don't just jump at the first opportunity. Be sure that you do your research on those things. Falling victim to scammy marketing stuff is what gives sales a bad rap. Don't do that. You've been warned. So many people just fall victim of that, and I just don't want that to be you. We will provide so many resources for you, and if you need anything, you can always jump on our Facebook page, Jump on our Instagram. We're at Ladies Kickin Ass everywhere. You can shoot me a DM. You can let me know what you need because I'm here to help you. That is the purpose of this community and the purpose of this podcast. So overall, in everything that we've talked about today, we talked about websites and how important those are, and SEO and making sure that yours is set up and dialed in properly, business directories, getting on Google My Business, and making sure you're being consistent with social media. Now, like I said, there are programs where you can go in and you can post out for weeks or months at a time to have consistency in your postings. Facebook and Instagram have their own creative studio that do that very thing for you. What's really cool about that is that they verify your content. So you kind of slide in above these third-party providers that do the posting for you. So that's a really cool option to check out, and it's free. There are others out there like Planoly, Later. I personally use Hootsuite. So those are some other companies that you can check out where you can see how you can come up with content and you can post those out. But we're definitely going to do an episode coming up here in a couple of weeks that will talk about content for your website and how to come up with content for social media so that you're not racking your brains about things. I'm going to give you my secrets that I use with my team so that we sit down, we plan it out, and then it just gets executed. And you can put it together on a project management software where anyone on the team can jump in and help create that content. It gives it a few different points of view, and it's really cool to be able to do that together as a team and watch what happens to your social media. These places are very important too, that you make sure you're professional looking because people will go online and leave you reviews. If you're a service company, you want reviews and you want 5-star reviews. So having a professional looking Facebook page that talks about your services and a professional Google My Business page, that's where people are going to go to leave reviews. Yelp is a big one. I know the Better Business Bureau, maybe some people think that's outdated or whatnot, but a lot of people in the service industry still will go there to look for people and still go there to leave reviews. And whether or not you create a profile with them, they can still leave reviews there. So make sure when they do, they're like, oh, wow. And they're amazed and they're just taken aback that you have paid so much attention to your online presence and that your professionalism online matched the professionalism that they received at their service when they were at your home or at your business. So thank you so much. I know this was a mouthful of information about the importance of getting online and being active in social media, but it's so very important for a service company to have those credentials and get there. It doesn't have to happen overnight, sis. It does not have to be done overnight. Some of this stuff takes years to build up if you're doing it yourself. If you hire a professional, it even takes months, and that's their single job to do. I like to look at this is my creative outlet to be able to do my social media postings. I still do them personally for my company a lot of the time because there's something about that personal touch when you're in the industry, in your captions and in your photos, and what you know that you hear your customer saying that they need to know more about, that you can incorporate into that. So I would say if you need to hire out anything, I would start with Google AdWords. Then I would go with your website design and SEO, and definitely social media, I would say, would be last for me to hire out because I love the personal touch of being able to do that. So make it fun. Don't make it a chore. Make it fun. It's fun to do with your team. So in closing with that, I hope you all had a fantastic Friday. I'm finding that I'm so excited to be able to put out my next episode on this podcast that I'm probably going to end up doing more than one a week. So make sure that you subscribe so you get notifications for that. But for sure, we'll be here every Friday and sometimes in the middle of the week with a little bit of encouragement that you need to keep chasing your biggest goals and hang in there and love the ride. It's not a destination. These things don't have ends. They just have days and enjoy every single one of those, because that's what you're doing all of this for. You know, even when it's a crappy day, be thankful for the things that you have accomplished. I get really hard on myself, and I have a hard time sometimes patting myself on the back, or as my business coach says, celebrating my wins. I'm just on to the next project, but I have learned that it's so great to slow down and make sure that you celebrate your wins, because those are the things that keep you going. And if you can't think of one, think of where you were at 1 year ago today, 2 years ago today, 5 years ago today, and look at how far you've come. Again, all those little things add up to that really big thing that is going to make your business be the best it can and make you be the most amazing kick-ass lady that anybody has ever known. Thank you for joining me again for this Ladies Kickin Ass podcast, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.